All right. Let's see. Hany, what is your favorite back movement for width? My go-to for somebody who wants to build width, and this is coming from someone who says that he is a amateur bodybuilder who's done 2 shows. Well, whether you've done 2 shows or if you've done 10 or none, but you're just building out your back, a staple is pull-ups. So if you can do pull-ups, great. If you can't, then obviously pull-downs are great. But doing that exercise properly, arching your back, making sure you're starting with a wide grip, about shoulder width or just a little wider than shoulder width, overhand. We want to master that. Once you're able to master the pull down and you get stronger, then you do a pull up. Most of the guys that are really good at pull-ups are people who are, whether it's guys or girls, that have a gymnastics background, or they're just super upper body strong and they're maybe not as heavy in terms of overall body weight. They can tend to do pull-ups. And then you see a lot of those CrossFitters that go nuts and they start doing these crazy kinds of, pull-ups. I don't even know what they call them. They call them pull-ups, muscle-ups or something along those lines. And again, that's just more of a movement. But when you're really trying to build up your back, it's really about trying to create contraction. Start with a lat pull down and then work your way to pull-ups. Then what I like to do is work on V-bar pull-ups. So what you do is you grab a V-bar and you put it up on the bar, and usually cable crossover machine, the bridge in between, and then you throw that on there. Some of the machines out there actually have that attachment where it's like a V-bar attachment. And then what you can go ahead and do is grab the bar and then you pull your chest up and you arch your back. And what you want to do is you want to be able to get to a point where you're using your body weight. Now, again, if you're 230, 240, a lot tougher. If you're 160, 170 pounds or 150 pounds, it's easier. Now, the other thing that you want to do is really focus on trying to be able to work the different angles. That's why whether you use a V-bar on a lat pull-down machine or if you want to use a different grip. So when you're using that reverse grip, not only do you hit your teres, but you also hit a little bit lower and you get that really good contraction deep into that lower right around the left and right side of the erectors. So you get a great contraction there. Those are the main points. When you say width, I like to go with a couple of different versions of a lat pull down / pull up. That's my go-to. All right. FSC7 legs. Can I do leg extensions for that? Absolutely. Leg extensions is a great, great workout. FSC7 exercise. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it as a preload method, which you're using FST7 on leg extension for your first exercise. And again, you'd be in that 10 to 15 rep range and you're waiting 30 to 45 seconds in between sets. I would still do a warm up of a couple of sets before I went into 7 actual working sets. And once you're warmed up, a little bit of leg extensions, maybe doing a little bit of hamstring curls just to kind of get a little bit of blood in your overall legs, even some like body weight squats or, getting in a Smith machine and throwing a plate on each side and working your way up and down just to try to get your knees warmed up, get your hips warmed up, get everything a little bit warmed up. Then a preload would be the first exercise. That's an FSC7 preload leg extension. If you want to come back and do a regular FSC7 non-preload, what you would do is you would do it at the very end. So the way that would work is that the last exercise, you'd be doing leg extensions in the same format. 30 to 45 seconds to rest. You'd be doing leg extension. You'd be really focusing on that. You've already done your hack squat. You've already done your squats. You've already done your front squats. You've already done your pendulum squats. You've done your leg press. You've done your vertical leg press, whatever it is. And for some of you, i.e. podcast, but the key to takeaway for FSC7 legs is to start out with either a pre or reload, which basically means that it's either the first or the last exercise. The key to the first exercise is to create a better pump going into your compound movements. So they both are very beneficial. The other way to do it is to go back and do it the traditional way, which is at the very end. Either way, I would be able to, if you're really looking to be able to break a plateau, it's a great, great solution for FSC7. Leg extensions, pre or reload. Reload's at the very end, preload's the first exercise. So, and then some of you say, can I do both? I have had people do both, but doesn't happen very often. But if you're ballsy enough, you can go ahead and try it. And if you were going to go ahead and do that, I would go ahead and start off with maybe a little bit lighter weight, and making sure you work your way up. The next one, as a teenager who is gymming, what should I focus on the most? Form. When you're in the gym, learn the biomechanics, learn proper form, try to get with somebody who knows more than you do, especially if they don't have to be a trainer, but somebody who has been trained by a trainer to be able to perform squats properly and to properly be able to do shoulder press and chest press and doing these things, because you're going to reduce your risk of injury, and you're going to also be able to focus on really taking your physique to another level as you get stronger. So it's very similar to golf. If you learn a really bad golf swing, again, and I'm not a professional golfer, guys. I just know because I had a lot of friends who played a lot of golf in the Bay Area. And if you've got bad habits, they're really hard to break. Gym is very, very similar. Gymming, we call it now, is when you go to the gym and you're just working out, you got to learn good, proper form. If you don't have that, you're going to end up getting hurt, and you're going to end up being out of the gym, and you're going to make yourself miserable and frustrated. So try to get those biomechanics, get the exercises down. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I don't know anybody nowadays, and I'm sure there's somebody out there, and there's going to be some stories about assholes out there that if you ask them, hey man, can you show me how to do this, that somebody's going to be a jerk. But most people are more than happy to turn around and help. So if you see somebody who looks like that they know what they're doing, and you want to ask them, hey man, how do you do that exercise? And it could be like, let's say it's a cable fly, and you feel like you're kind of not doing it properly, but you see somebody who looks like that they're doing it the right way. Or you turn around and you watch one of my videos and you say, hey, look, I see somebody doing a certain style, but they're there, and you can ask them a question and say, hey, like I saw Hani or one of his clients or somebody I follow on YouTube do that exercise, but I see this guy doing it, but I seem to not feel like I'm doing it right. You can ask them, hey man, can you watch my form and just tell me if I'm doing something wrong? I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they're going to turn around and help you, because most people are inherently good. They may be in a bad mood once in a while, and that's when you get into a bad situation. But for the most part, people are inherently good, and people inherently want to help others. So again, I would definitely ask someone who is either a trainer or somebody who knows, it looks like, but they know what they're doing, for help. Because especially if you're a newbie, don't be afraid to do that.